Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin. Thanks for joining me today. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. And for those of you who specialize in anything that I'm showing, leave some comments down, some extra tips and pointers, because today we're talking about buyer beware, altered and faked coins that you may find on eBay or whatnot, or even at your local coin show. Some of the things that you'll see on social media, Instagram, TikTok, they start talking about all these wild radical errors. Look what I have. Look what I found. And how about we'll start with a two-headed coin. And one of the things that's fun about a two-headed coin, of course, these things are worth as much money as you can make by flipping the coin over and over, and just make sure you call heads, right? So how is this made? Like, what do they do here? Well, this coin inside the cardboard holder, it's hard to see anything because inside the cardboard holder, it's hard to see things. But what we're going to see here in a second is as we look at a few things here, one of the most common ways, of course, they can cut the coin in half and glue it together in the center. Or the other thing that you will see is you'll see coins that are machined out. They are hollowed out on one side. Yep, hollow and deceptive. And then what you can do is you can actually go ahead and place another coin on the opposite side. So as an example, here we have the best of both worlds, where you have two coins put together. So the two main ways they do this is to either cut the coin in half or hollow one side out. If a coin is cut in half, you can actually see along the edge of the coin a seam. And if the coin is hollowed out, generally speaking, what you see on a hollowed out coin is you'll see an extra seam somewhere along the very, very edge of the coin. So those are the things to look for on coins that are two-head, or you've got a coin that someone's going to say, hey, this is two different countries. How amazing is that? 2 countries, 2 years. Pretty wild stuff, right? Next up, we have the infamous 1943 copper penny, which of course is almost every single time going to be copper plated. And the thing to know about these is that, of course, you can test by using a magnet to see if it's metallic or not, if it's actually made out of steel versus copper. But also the weights are very important on these guys. So knowing how to weigh the steel versus weighing the copper. And so these I weighed all inside the holders, and the copper ones weighed just under 6 grams or 6 grams, and the steel ones weighed about 5.5 grams. So you're looking at coins that are going to have a difference in weight of about 0.5 gram. The actual coin weight should be 3.1 on the copper coin that is raw, and the steel one should be 2.5 grams. So these guys here, usually what they do is they just take a normal 1943 penny and they steel coat it. And some of them are really deceptive. You look at the coin and you say, oh, okay, that looks pretty good. But then as you go along, you'll start to see some of them have, if you have marks and hits, you'll start to see through the coating a little bit. Like on this coin here, it looks like it's been run over, and you can start to see the steel coming through on the coin. And so that is something that you'll see on those. Now, sometimes you'll see coins that are actual counterfeits. So like this coin here is actually struck, I believe this to be an actual just struck counterfeit coin. On this one, if you look at some of the markings near the date, you have a coin that's actually just a fake coin all around. And so there's a couple different ways that they do these things. And then also, don't forget that it goes the other way, where in 1944, you can take a steel penny, and you can take a copper penny, and you can steel plate it, which is what this one is. So steel coated copper. It's like rubber coated steel. So usually the easiest way to tell on any of this stuff is the combination of the magnet test. When they're in holders like this, you get messed up because you've got obviously copper. You actually have the steel here that'll be attracted to the magnet. So usually, you know, the advice on any of this type of stuff when you see it on eBay or whatnot is just stay away. None of that's going to work out for you. The other thing that you see a lot of, that we see quite a bit, is altered dates. So an altered date, usually what they're going to do is they're going to take a coin that already exists and they're going to change it in a way that makes it more appealing as far as the coin goes for the rarity of the date and mint mark combination. So as an example, the 1914 Denver Mint coin is one of the scarcest coins in the Lincoln Cent series, and it's one of the coins that we see altered very frequently. And what most altered coins are, what happens with most altered coins is you will see they take a coin that exists and they alter it, as the name would imply, edit it, maybe you would put like that, but no filter. You take a 1944 Denver coin and you rub away the parts of the 4 that make it look like a 4 and just leave the 1 column to make it look like a 1. The big giveaway for this is, I'm going to keep it almost blurry on purpose, is look at that big gap between the 19 and the 14. That's because the lettering is missing there where the other 4 was altered or edited down. And one of the reasons why, when I see a coin that's a rare date but then has like lots of problems like harsh cleaning or it's been recolored or retoned, oftentimes I just feel like that is something that has been used to hide something else that happened. So there are things that are kind of giveaways for me that lead me to shy away from certain coins. Here we go with another 1914 with a very similar look to it. You've got that big gap between the 19 and the 14 as they took a 1944 coin and altered it. I'm going to see if I can get on here for you some of the also rub marks. Now here we go. What you can see on this one is you can see all the tooling marks there in between the 9 and the 4 where they worked at rubbing away the 4. The other one was edited much better, shall we say, as this one, the second one, the 4 that was turned into a 1, doesn't look as straight. It looks a little bit crooked. And that other one was really pretty smoothly done. Now the other coin had been, after altered, it had all been cleaned and recolored to make it look, actually not recolored, they just cleaned that sucker up to try to get rid of the evidence. So there's not a whole lot of coins that you see outside of that 14D. There are a few, of course. What was interesting to me is there's a few here that I've never really owned before that I thought were cool. Very cool, this 1912S, which also looks like they just took a 42S cent and did the same thing. You can see once again the gap there. You can see once again this coin has been polished, which is designed to kind of hide the rest of what's going on there. But once again, if I get the right angle, you'll see the remnant of those tool marks. And so right now I'm using the 20 power loop, and it helps to be able to have a couple of different strength loops at your disposal. Of course, another way people alter things is by adding or deleting mint marks. You know, if you've got a Philadelphia coin that's really rare, so like on the 1928 peace dollar, you'll see guys erase the S mint from a 28S to make it the 28 Philly. So that's a common one. 31S, here's another one that's really interesting. I hadn't really seen too many of these. Can you see where the altering is on this? 31S is one of the few 1930s coins that has a little bit of a cachet to it in all grades. And we're focusing in here on that last digit where it looks like possibly a 34S, and I haven't really seen many of these, so I thought this one was kind of interesting. But that whole right side of that coin, look at that angle. You can see where everything was like dug out and reworked. That's all metal movement all throughout there. That dark area, that's all metal movement. And one of the most intriguing ones here, because I have not seen a 1915 Philly altered. This one is pretty radical because basically they took a halfway decent looking 1945 penny and turned it into a 1915. And once again, you see that unnatural gap in the date between the 9 and the 1. And once again, if you get the right angles on this guy, you will start to see the metal flow. See that discoloration, that streaks well below to well above, between the 9 and the 1. All from altered metal. So pretty cool stuff, and things to be careful of and watch out for when you are collecting. Let me know if you've ever run into these things, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.